All gas, no break. Welcome to the show. Just Chris and Mo for the moment. Justin is Justin is currently MIA or IA. He's currently at work, and his return to the podcast is questionable. We're also holding open tryouts to join our practice squad. Uh, to help pick up some of the dead weight that Justin is leaving. So if you would like to join our practice squad, please send us an email, and we will definitely consider your resume. So getting right into it, Jets lose a tough one, 15-10 to the New England Patriots. And I mean, there's really not much to say other than the obvious, which is with a competent quarterback, they win this game. Even with an incompetent quarterback, they win this game pretty easily at that. I think that Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, he would have won this game. And there are plenty of quarterbacks off the streets that would be a significant upgrade over what we saw, from number 2 on Sunday. It's getting to a point now where it's just, it's only 3 games in the season, obviously, but it's getting to a point now where it's just ridiculous that they keep trotting him back out there. It's like not even really, it's like not even really on Zach Wilson anymore, because we know what he is. He shows us week in and week out exactly what he is. All this talk that he improved over the offseason, or that, spending a couple of months around Aaron Rodgers had, helped him. It was all a bunch of bullshit, because he's doing the same shit and making the same mistakes that he did last year and the year before that. CJ Stroud is in game 3 of his career, and he's making throws in the 3rd game of his career that Zach Wilson can't make in the 3rd year of his career. And it's just at a point where, it's just not fair, really just not fair to anyone for the coaches and for the front office to, just put their stick in the mud and decide that they're going to die on the Zach Wilson hill. It doesn't make sense to the team. It doesn't make sense to the fan. And quite frankly, I don't know how it makes sense to them. With that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't, because I feel like they're just going to die on that hill, because it's his draft pick and he's trying to stick to it no matter what. He doesn't want to cut ties and admit that he fucked up on a pick.
He just, the sooner he does, though, like, the better. Like, I mean, really, yeah. I mean, he admitted, really.
The 49ers, they cut ties quick, and they traded so many draft picks to get Trey Lance.
Yeah, and they were still able to, acknowledge that, and they were still able to acknowledge, hey, like, this was a mistake, and, they cut their losses, and they took the 4th round pick for him. They weren't like, and, they're playing Mr. Irrelevant over him because Mr. Irrelevant is a lot better than him. They're not doing this whole, like, they're not doing the whole politics thing where, oh, we drafted this guy, 2nd overall, and we're paying him this much, so he has to play now, when clearly he's not ready, and clearly that's not in anyone's best interest. It's not in his own best interest. It's not in the team's best interest. There's no one whose best interest it is for Zach Wilson. Whoever's decision this is, whether it's Saleh, whether it's Joe Douglas, whether it's Woody Johnson, or some combination of the 3, whoever is deciding, like, that Zach Wilson gives the Jets the best chance to win games on a weekly basis, whoever is deciding that, they are literally the last people on earth that think that. They are the last people on earth that think that Zach Wilson can play football. Because, like, we're not even coaching around the quarterback at this point, or, trying to play around the quarterback, or we're literally operating without a quarterback. We're trying to win games on offense with 10 players. And it's just, it's just not gonna go well. and bringing Trevor Siemian off the street isn't exactly a solution either. I mean, I would say he's probably a slight upgrade over Zach Wilson at this point, but I think there were better options they could have brought off the street that they were probably just afraid to bring off the street because, like you alluded to right before we started recording, it seems like whoever they bring in, they're not bringing in anyone who they could see as like a legitimate threat to replace Zach Wilson. And I also think that, I don't know, maybe we'll see Trevor Siemian, in a couple of weeks at some point, while they give him time to learn Nathaniel Hackett's quote unquote extremely nuanced playbook, which I think that whole thing is a crock of shit as well. seems like that is just an excuse for them to keep rolling with Zach, because I don't know how Nathaniel Hackett's playbook can be that complicated. And I'm not saying Nathaniel Hackett, I don't even think Nathaniel Hackett did a bad job as far as play calling goes on Monday or Sunday. Receivers were getting open, and Zach had time to throw.
Yeah, and I counted how many seconds, like on average, that he had in the pocket, and it ended up being around like 3 to 4 sequons. So
yeah, I saw a thing. It was like he had like an average of like 3.23 seconds. He had the most time of any quarterback this week in the NFL to throw.
This is the number one problem he needs to solve first if they really want to keep moving on with him. Learn how to read a fucking defense, because it's like you can't be. Garrett Wilson's open like over 50% of the time.
Yeah, and the fact that they're
like, it's like, Keyshawn, give me the goddamn ball.
For real.
Because he can make a play. Make a play with your playmakers. Like, that's the only way you're going to make anything happen. And he's like throwing it away or running around the pocket, running into sacks on top of it. and not even like he is. I don't know what he's looking at.
Yeah, and it's so clear that he's playing scared. He's scared to.
Yeah, he is. He's scared to mess up.
He's scared to make a mistake, and he's scared. He's probably scared in general, just of. He's scared in general of the defenders coming at him or whatever. He's scared to make a mistake, so he's got like happy feet in the pocket. He doesn't know what he's seeing, or he doesn't trust what he's seeing. And yeah, like you were saying, like I was saying the whole second half, like they put up a graphic saying, like, I think at one point Garrett only had like 2 receptions for 5 yards at one point in the game. And I remember being like, yo, they got to get on the ball, like find ways to get on the ball. I don't care if it's a jet sweep or one of those little like drop passes or, bubble screens. You have to find a way to like get the ball in his hands, because if you get the ball in his hands, he can make things happen. He has the yak ability. Sure, you would like a quarterback with an arm of Zach Wilson's caliber to be able to push the field more than that. But obviously it's too much to ask for them to, put any trust in him to really do anything. And, and they come in week in and week out, they come in and they tell us how, Zach's our guy, unquestionable, our unquestioned quarterback, this, that, and the third. And then every week they come out with some game plan, and it's like where they're just trying to hide him. And they're telling you, we're terrified of, like, we're just as scared. We're coaching just as scared as Zach is playing, basically.
Yeah, well, this is what it seems to me. As soon as Aaron Rodgers went down, they didn't have a plan B.
No.
They just Aaron Rodgers never gets hurt. He's gonna play the whole season. We won't have to worry about it. And it's like there was no game plan to cultivate a running back at all.
Yeah, and that's extremely stupid, because even if no one could have really seen this coming with the Achilles injury 4 plays in. No one could really see that coming. But at the same time, like, you have to have some sort of contingency plan, even if you have to have some sort of contingency plan, even if he gets like hurt, like a tweaked ankle or something, has to miss a couple of games. Right. Are you telling me that? So like, are they they're basically telling us that, like, if say let's say Aaron Rodgers played the first 3 quarters of the season or something, and we're 8-4 and we're 9-3 or something like that, and right in the thick of the playoff race, and then Aaron goes down with some sort of an injury. You're telling me that the plan would have just been to just go back to being the same team you were last year? Like that is.
It looks exactly like a spit image of last year right now.
Yeah.
Same shit. Nothing different at all. And every other defense is the best defense in the world when we play it.
Oh yeah, 100%. The Patriots were down 3 starting corners, and they played man to man and blitzed the fuck out of us like all day, because they had no respect for the quarterback position, or they know that they know, okay, like we can do this and it's not gonna hurt us.
They're not doing it. They know exactly what to do every time. Stack the box and make Zach Wilson throw the ball. They do it every time. They put in 8 rushers and just fucking let him go. Bill Belichick knows how to do it. He's been doing it. I'm pretty sure Andy Reid's going to do it next week. And at this point, it's like, all right, you need to figure out how to make passes.
Yeah.
Here. You got to get the ball off faster, because they're just doing it. They know how to beat you. The math is out there. Like every play they run, you can tell what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
I was calling the plays watching the game. Oh, they're gonna.
Yeah, so was I. I was like, oh yeah, here comes a run. They're gonna try.
It's run, deep pass, run, deep pass, and then punt.
Yeah, because that's what happens when the 2 runs are going nowhere, because defenses are just selling out against the run, because there's literally no threat with Zach Wilson, and it's just it's malpractice at this point.
I think Zach got even worse, because he didn't even play this bad his rookie year. I think even last year, I feel like he got slightly worse, and now he's just terrible.
Even last year against the Patriots, he made that one deep throw to Garrett Wilson, and that was like one of the best throws of his career, probably. So they won't even entertain the idea of making a throw like that unless it's like a Hail Mary on the last play of the game.
And all right, so for hypothetical reasons, if Randall Cobb caught that, what conversation are we having right now?
I'm sure the conversation would be a little different. I feel like we would still probably be talking about how much Zach Wilson sucked and how they need to replace him. It might not be as dire of a situation. And we might even be delusional enough to talk ourselves into being competitive or maybe beating Kansas City. Whereas it seems like pretty much all the fan base has already accepted what our fate is going to be this Sunday night. Our first Sunday night game in 12 years.
Yeah, and it's at MetLife.
Yeah, it's at MetLife, and it's not even fair to Zach to put him out there, for him to embarrass himself on national TV like that. Honestly, basically what the coaches were telling us is or what Saleh was telling us when, mere minutes after that game was over, and he, and he went out for his press conference and said, oh yeah, Zach's still our guy. He's the best option that we have internally. It's okay, so you're telling me that Tim Boyle is worse than that?
You can't. Then why is he on the team? If you're scared to play him that bad, why is he on the team?
Yeah, why is he on the team? I mean, it seems like, everything was everything we did this offseason was basically we did it for Aaron Rodgers. People can say what they want about Nathaniel Hackett. He's here for one reason. It's because he's friends with Aaron Rodgers. Basically, they brought Tim Boyle here for the vibes, because he was friends with Aaron Rodgers. Randall Cobb, he almost caught that Hail Mary, but Randall Cobb's the only reason we even scored a touchdown, because he flopped on that pass interference call to even get us close enough to score a touchdown, because the only way we were going to score a touchdown was with a fullback dive in that game, but the way things were going. Even then, like Randall Cobb, he was brought in for the vibes for Aaron Rodgers, because they're boys. Like all these things were done like to appease Aaron Rodgers. And now, there was no contingency plan for anything after that blew up, 4 plays into the game. And now I think the Jets are, they find themselves, they're definitely in a situation because you don't want you kind of have to switch to Tim Boyle, I think, this week. I don't think they're going to, but you really have to because like you just can't put Zach out there because you're sending a message to you're basically at that point you're sending a message to your fans and to your team like that,
Yeah. They're going to try to fix him like you did with Mike White.
Yeah, like people like there's a reason why people were wearing those Mike White t-shirts last year. It's not because they thought Mike White was good. I think
it was just because he wasn't Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it was like they literally the offense literally operates with like a different energy and like more juice when literally anyone besides Zach Wilson is under center.
He's pretty much like the worst quarterback in the league next to Justin Fields.
He's worse than Justin Fields.
Yeah, I feel he is.
Yeah, Justin Fields is probably second worst. But yeah, I mean Justin Fields is second worst, but and he's probably second worst by like a pretty wide margin because I mean, like Zach literally he can't do.
They need to cut ties. Like that's it.
They do. I think they need to. I think for the sake of the team, like they need to get him. Not only they need to bench him, I think they need to get him off the team. Like he needs to be out.
Yes.
They need to either trade him for a bag of bricks or cut him. I don't care. Eat the dead money. Like you need to get him off the team because like you could tell that the players on that team that can play, the Breece Halls, the Garrett Wilsons, and those guys, the defense, they don't fuck with Zach. They really don't. They don't fuck with Zach, and body like. People can say whatever they want in the media, but body language speaks louder than that. You saw the clip of Garrett Wilson on the sideline where it looked like he was saying he can't throw. Supposedly, according to some people, he was saying something different. I don't know. I'm not a professional lip reader. Regardless of what he was saying, though, like the body language was there. You could tell he was frustrated. You saw him and Zach kind of going at it on the sideline too. You saw Michael Carter going at it with the running backs coach and all that stuff. And, like basically, like if they keep putting Zach out there, they're going to lose the locker room and like this whole thing is going to fall apart. And sooner or later, the star young players we have, the Sauce Gardners, the Garrett Wilsons, the Breece Halls, they're going to want to get traded and they're going to want to play elsewhere. So you have to do the right thing by your organization. You have to cut ties, admit that you fucked up. I mean, you basically already admitted that you fucked up when you went out and got Aaron Rodgers. Like there was a reason why you did that. And there should have been a better contingency plan if Rodgers went down. You should have had a real veteran backup quarterback in the building, which is something that the Jets seem to have never really had, like at any point, really. There's never like even when Zach came in, like there was no one that was like a threat to take his job or anything like that. He was just handed the job. He's been coddled. He's been coddled since the day he got here, and the coddling has not worked. It's time to just. And it's in Zach's best interest too. He needs to get out of New York because I'm sure, getting booed out of the stadium at home games isn't easy for him either. So they need to just do the right thing, cut ties. This whole dream that Aaron Rodgers can fix him, it was baloney from the start. I mean, granted, Jordan Love looks pretty good after sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, but I mean, Jordan Love probably had a better skill set than Zach Wilson to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, it doesn't to me because people always say like, okay, what college did they play? Where was their competition? obviously that didn't matter because Jordan White played at Utah State. Zach Wilson played at BYU, which
That's like
is
the same conference, right?
yeah, it's the Mountain West. So
Yeah, I think didn't Josh Allen play there too in the Mountain West?
yeah, he went to Wyoming, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like that shit, it don't matter. It's just how you basically figure out the playbook, at least from a quarterback perspective, how you understand the reading defenses, how quickly you could pick up the knowledge and like the cadences of like how to run the offense, and then your goal. Because other than that, like if you're just still going back to your old ways and you're not progressing, like Mahomes, he played at Texas Tech. Pac-12 is not that competitive compared to the SEC, but I mean, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks that come out of the SEC to begin with that are like stars, because most quarterbacks come from like random schools, if you really look at it. So you never really know who's going to be good or not. It's like you're taking a chance. I want to say the last like what 5 or 6 years, there's only been like 4 quarterbacks that are still on their same team that were drafted in the first round, something like that. And it's like Mahomes. You can't say Deshaun Watson because he's on a different team. You can't say Goff, he's on a different team. But either way, it's only 4, so it's hard to hit on quarterbacks. Period. At least in the first round. So I mean, at this point, like if they don't even realize it and they're still trying to stick to their guns, I mean, they're just planting a bomb that's going to go off sooner or later.
Oh yeah, and it seems like it's going to be. And right now, it seems more like it's going to be on the sooner end of things with the way things are going. Because I mean, I don't know how many times you can keep trying the same thing and expect different results. And just expect everyone.
That's idiot mentality.
And just and expect everyone, who is there competing, trying to be good teammates throughout this whole thing. Like, they can only they're only going to do that for so long before they ask to be sent elsewhere. So it's really something that they need to address it. They need to address it now. I mean, shit, I can't believe I'm saying this, and I hate the Jets for even making me think this, but like Carson Wentz would have been a better option. Like I would have been happy if the Jets signed Carson Wentz today.
Like you've seen Carson Wentz's potential before. It's just like who's going to bring it out again? Like because it was there.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like an MVP in 2017. Like the Eagles won that Super Bowl because of Carson Wentz. Granted, obviously Nick Foles did what he did, but they don't get as far as they did that year without Carson Wentz.
Yeah, because he basically painted the picture, and Nick Foles finished his job.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe I've heard things that Carson Wentz isn't like a good leader or a good teammate, and maybe that's why they wouldn't bring him in. But like, I mean, they already have a bad leader and a bad teammate in Zach. So like, what difference does it make at this point?
They made Zach a captain his rookie year.
Yeah, that was insane. That was lunacy, and we all
riding his tail so bad that they felt like he was going to be like this prodigy, and he does the same thing every time. Tries to make a play out of the pocket, it never works. Yep. It works like 1 out of 50 times.
Yeah, and I mean at this point, if they're not like, at this point, if they continue to put him out there, like then they're just as incompetent at their jobs. And honestly, someone's going to lose their job if they continue down this path. And I don't. I really don't understand why. Like, if you're a head coach coaching for your job, I don't understand why you would why you'd want to go out this way. Like, it makes no sense to me.
You know what? Honestly, I don't think Saleh wants Zach.
It's probably being forced on him.
I think so.
You think by Joe Douglas or by Woody, or maybe a combination of both? By both? Yeah, I could see it. I mean, because Woody always likes to play the politics of, Woody likes to always play the politics of, you gotta play the guy who we drafted second overall, who we're paying a lot of money. Like, he always seems to have some sort of influence with that, and Joe Douglas probably. I mean, all that's going to happen to Joe Douglas, though, with each passing week and each bad Zach Wilson start, that 2022 draft that he did so well in is just becoming more and more of a distant memory. And I think people are just going to get more and more sour on Joe Douglas. When people finally open the blinders and open their eyes and realize that Joe Douglas has like blood on his hands in this whole situation too, and that he's not immune to criticism, then they're going to go sour and they're going to turn on him too. So,
right. But look at this way.
Probably already starting to happen.
When you look at that draft, I mean, like, how can you fuck up four picks, 3 in the first round and the first second round pick? Because these were all like players that we needed, and you can't. He's fucked up first round picks before, and at this point, he pretty much hit on like every single one. So like he hit like a gold mine pretty much in that draft.
Yeah,
with those first 4 picks, because they all seem to be working out, at least for what it's worth. And I mean, before that, like, he's hit on a couple. I mean, AVT might be the only one, and then I don't know if you throw Michael Carter in there, or Michael Carter the second.
Yeah, Carter 2 is definitely a hit. Carter 1
Carter 1 is, I don't know if he's a bust, but he's definitely like, he's average. But
yeah, he's like an average third string running back, which I guess is
for where he was drafted at. But
yeah, I guess it's fine for a 4th round pick.
Yeah, the Mekhi Becton train, I don't know, because I mean, he didn't play that bad. If you
I thought he played pretty well on Sunday.
The offensive line actually didn't do that bad. I mean,
I thought the offensive line as a whole did well, except for the only person on the line I had an issue with this week was Laken Tomlinson just forgot how to play football, and Connor McGovern too. I had some issues with Connor McGovern's play. I didn't specifically watch the O-line, but I went back and watched. The only people I saw give up a sack was Tomlinson and Tittman. So I don't care about Tittman because he's a rookie. It's not I don't care about him, but I'm just saying, like, I understand he's a rookie and he's gonna have fuck ups. But you grade that on a bit of a curve.
Like McGovern, because I'm already looking at free agents for next year to see how we can bolster the O-line. And I'm thinking, like, I guess we address tackle because we could just swing AVT right back to guard, and then
he played pretty damn good at right tackle.
Center just at this point, if they lose to the Chiefs, I'm putting Joe Tittman in because
also I would go in week 4. I would go with the same offensive line combination that we had this week. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would too, because this is their first time really playing in a game.
There's been no continuity with the group, and
exactly.
For what it's worth, like, they did their part. It is not their fault that they lost this game. And when Robert Saleh was saying, and I'm sure, and this makes me believe even more that this is probably just being forced on him. And that it's not really what he wants, because he was saying, like, we can all do a better job to, like, make things easier around Zach, but everyone did their job making things easier around him on Sunday. Receivers were open. He wasn't seeing them, and they were giving him time to throw. And he's almost better when he doesn't have time to throw.
See, it's like he always wants to go for the deep shot, and he was happy as hell to throw that Hail Mary. I could see it because he was just building to it. But I mean, that's it's not here or there. But
yeah, I mean, this isn't NFL Blitz 2000 though. You can't run the bomb every single play.
Yeah, because I feel like
that run the bomb every single play, Zach Wilson would be good.
Oh, I feel like that's what he always like. That was his go-to at BYU, just throw like bombs. Yeah. But the O-line in general, when they made that move, I was like, "Oh, this sounds good." Like it made sense. So back at left tackle where he should be, and he was holding his own for most.
Yeah, he was back like he never left. To be honest,
he was back. Yeah, he looked like he was in good formation. He wasn't really like. Obviously, you're going to get beat a couple times, but I'm not worried about that because he hasn't played it in a game since 2021 in the first game against the Panthers.
Yeah, against Carolina.
Lankin, I don't know. He's still slacking. I don't know if it's just him getting like older or just like he's not understanding his assignments. McGovern's like just average. I didn't really see a lot of like pressure towards him, even though like because I saw Joe Tippmann getting double teamed and he didn't even like try to pick up a block. AVT held his own, but as a group, I don't know if it was running or passing, but they were actually like really substantial when they were playing. I want to say it was passing. They had this O-line had a better passing grade than run grade.
Yeah, which is kind of rare for them.
Right. But you'd figure it would be the other way around.
Yeah, but I mean, the film doesn't lie, the tape doesn't lie. They definitely were. They were definitely giving Zach Wilson clean pockets and opportunities to operate. He would never I remember like a week or two ago, people were like throwing a parade because he like stepped up in the pocket one time. But on that play where he basically like got sacked because he like tripped over himself, like he could have simply just stepped up in the pocket and he probably would have found an open receiver and been able to make a throw. And honestly, if he makes a throw on that play, they probably would have won the game. Yeah.
And he's just running into players. Like there were so many plays in the first half where they could have scored easy. And it's just like they blame it on, it's raining, it's pouring bad. The wide receivers are dropping passes. Yeah, well, no shit.
It was raining for the other team too. That didn't seem to be an issue for Mac Jones or his receivers.
They don't have one. They don't need excuses. They played the same field.
They don't need excuses. They won.
Yeah.
I don't. But yeah, I mean, like you're playing football in like the Northeast. Like it's going to rain. It's going to be windy sometimes. There will be snow. You are going to be playing in elements. I mean, shit. You grew up in Utah. There are probably elements there too. Like I don't want to hear. I'm tired of hearing excuses. Like when Zach had that horrible game against New England last year, the one that like cost him his job for like a couple of weeks because he just won't go away. He was blaming the wind in that game too. It's like, okay, well, Mac Jones was able to complete passes. He was playing the same conditions.
Mike White played against the Bears and it was like pouring rain. And
he threw for over 300 yards. So like
against our quarterback, Trevor Siemian.
Yeah. So and if Woody wants to do the whole political thing of, we got to play this guy because we drafted him, well, I mean, Woody's not going to like it when he shows up to his suite Sunday night and he sees that, everyone's there for the Chiefs and all the Jets fans sold their tickets to Chiefs fans and the Swifties who are now Chiefs fans because of Travis Kelce. So I mean, I guess Woody won't really care either way, because either way, he's getting his money.
'Cause, I mean, they overpriced all the tickets, so like anybody who's a season ticket holder is fucked. And now all ticket prices, like the the appreciation value is just going down now. So you could probably get cheaper tickets at the lower levels than the higher ones.
Shit, probably. Yeah, I bet the league regrets giving the Jets all those national games.
Shit, I'm surprised they ain't gonna flex this one.
Well, I think they would if it wasn't too early. So I don't think they can flex until like week 11 or week 12.
Yeah, because
when flexing starts.
When Michael Carter had that interception and dropped it, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, and that probably would have been a pick six too. It kind of reminds me of like it kind of gave me the same vibe as last year when his pick six got called back. Mm-hmm. Except this time it wasn't really a penalty, and I almost feel like the refs were like kind of purposely like being nice and favorable to the Jets.
Yeah, they were. That's what I felt.
Because you had the whole thing the week before where JFM got called for a bullshit roughing the passer penalty, and the league admitted that it shouldn't have been a penalty, and whatever. And it's like, oh, finally the league admits like they fucked up a call against the Jets, and I think they probably realized, okay, like their fans are pissed. Their fans are pissed at our refs. They've been bitching about the refs not respecting them for years. Let's just call a nice favorable game for them and watch them still fuck it up. And then what are they gonna say? So like you can't even really get mad at the refs anymore. I mean, we're still waiting for a roughing the passer call, but you can't really get roughing the passer calls when your passer is roughing himself.
Yeah, he's pretty much running into it himself. Like he's literally running into sacks.
Yeah, he really is. Like I saw a meme. I think NFL Memes posted it. It was like 2019 Jets quarterback sees ghosts. 2023 Jets quarterback gets sacked by ghosts. And that's our story of our life, I guess. But
into the New York Ghosts.
Yeah, we might have to change our name, but yeah, I mean it's an interesting situation, an interesting path that we're going down. I mean, it's hard not to feel like the season's over right now. Like
I feel like it is.
Yeah, I pretty much feel like it's over too. I mean, like maybe I was being a bit delusional the first 2 weeks, like, oh, we could still win games with Zach Wilson, like we did it last year. And our team might be even better now, but clearly that's not the direction we're going to go in.
Fucking worse.
At this point, I would be surprised if we win 7 games again.
I would be surprised if we beat KC. I would be in shock.
Oh, I'd be shocked too. I'd be shocked if we covered the spread. I think the spread is like
9.5.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if we lost by less than 10. If the Jets were able to keep this game to single digits, I would genuinely be surprised.
I would too.
And the Chiefs usually don't. And the Chiefs, like usually when the Chiefs have a big spread, I'm like hesitant to bet it because like the Chiefs kind of don't cover big spreads like that. But I will be hammering the Chiefs minus 9.5 or whatever it is this week without hesitation, because there is just, if you have eyes or if you believe in science, there's really no conceivable way that the Jets could lose this game by less than 10 points unless their defense is just like lights out on another level. But even then, like Travis Kelce will probably get at least 1 touchdown, even if they put sauce on him.
Yeah. Did you see Joe Namath like going in on Zach Wilson?
So I didn't see it or hear it, but I read the quotes, so I know what he said. That he said he's sick of watching him and that he doesn't think he's being coached.
Yeah, he was saying blow up the whole team and get rid of everyone. I'm like, all right, that's kind of where I draw the line, because I mean
that's a little crazy. I mean,
yeah, because defense is still good. So
The
like,
defense is still very good.
yeah, and I mean,
And
like you can upgrade like maybe a couple of spots on defense, and that's about it.
yeah, and
Uh,
then, the defense is still very good. And I mean, even though I've been critical of Joe Douglas as of late because I feel like a lot of what has transpired this season
mhm.
is kind of his fault. He's done a good job, building the roster to like a respectable level where, they are able to compete. And if they had a quarterback, they would have, if we had even a competent quarterback, we'd be 3-0 right now,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
Maybe 2-1 in the Dallas game's a little closer. But I truly believe that with a competent quarterback, we'd at least be 2-1, if not 3-0.
I know for a fact we would be 3-0 if we had Aaron Rodgers. Easy.
Oh, with Aaron Rodgers, we'd definitely be 3-0.
Mhm.
But even if we had even if we had like a Carson Wentz or like a Gardner Minshew, like I think we'd be at least 2-1 right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and as far as his whole comments about firing everyone, I mean, how do you see this like going? Because I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like is Woody Johnson just giving everyone a mulligan?
it seems like it because they're just, I guess they're just like, because it seems like Joe Douglas and Salah are definitely like they're not getting fired.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like like no one really seems like they're worried about losing their job. Like if Salah was truly worried about losing his job, they wouldn't be trotting Zach Wilson out there.
Yeah,
Same with
they,
Joe Douglas. If Joe Douglas was worried about losing his job, then he would have done something more serious today than bringing in Trevor Siemian to the practice squad.
they're expecting Aaron Rodgers to come back, obviously.
Yeah,
And I mean, like at that point, why? I would just, if that's the case, why not just tank the season? I mean, like if you put Zach Wilson in, you're gonna tank the season.
I mean that's like the only logical explanation to their undying commitment to Zach and bringing in Trevor Siemian. Like you can't tell your team or your fan base that you're trying to win games this year when these are the moves that you're making.
Right.
Like you
And
can't tell me that you're trying to win. Like don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining type of thing.
right. But see, in this situation, like, do you tell the players, okay, at least the defense, uh, just play, and then we're gonna wait for next year, like, because they're gonna quit on the team and say, "Fuck this, I don't want to be here no more."
Yeah,
They're
there's no way they're telling anyone that, and there's no way that they're actually tanking. I genuinely think that they when they go out and they play the games, I think they are trying to win. They are severely outmatched when they have 10 people on offense against an 11-man defense, and when every other team in the league has a quarterback that can provide something.
everyone knows Zach Wilson sucks.
Exactly.
So it's like, all right, what the fuck? What are we doing here?
Yeah. So I mean,
are we just gonna go along with it and then just go throughout the season thinking, okay, maybe you know what? When they took that sack, that might have been the best thing ever because that actually put him in better field position.
wait, which sack?
When Zach Wilson got sacked in the end zone, and then they had punted, and then
Oh,
they
the
ended
safety.
up in better field. Yeah,
Yeah. I was kind of saying that too. I was like, this isn't the worst thing. Our defense makes a stop, and then we get the ball back, and and then we need a touchdown to win it. And then we got the ball at our own 45-yard line, which is like you're playing with like house money at that point. If you're an NFL quarterback and that's your starting field position on the last drive of the game to win the game, like
dude.
9 out of 10 quarterbacks are going to win that game.
Yes, and they just roll the bag over here.
You can name whatever shitty quarterback or below average quarterback you want to name. Like fucking Jared Goff, he's winning that game.
Fucking every single quarterback
Dan
besides
Powell is winning that game.
Justin Fields would have won that
Justin
game.
Fields probably wins that game. Desmond Ritter probably wins that game.
He wins that game.
I'm trying to. Ryan Tannehill, he wins that game. Jimmy G wins that game. Kenny Pickett wins that game.
Seconds. And
Deshaun Watson, in this day and age where he's not as good because he can't get massages anymore, he wins that game.
They should just get that motherfucker a massage chair.
I mean, yeah, that would be a solid investment. I don't know if those chairs give happy endings, though.
Shit, he might, but I don't know. Maybe
Joshua Dobbs wins that game. Joshua Dobbs just beat the Cowboys.
He would have won the game outright.
Yeah. Joshua Dobbs would have had that game won. We wouldn't have even been in that situation with Joshua Dobbs. The game would have been won by like the third quarter.
Easy. Josh Dobbs is so good. Like their team
More like
is
Joshua Dots.
Everyone keeps fucking saying that they're gonna be the worst team. Their team is competitive.
They're competitive every week, and then they realize
they haven't by much.
Yeah, I mean I think in the Giants game they realized, wait, we're trying to tank. And yeah, like the Cardinals are like the team that's like actually trying to tank. And you know, I really don't think the Jets are trying to tank. I mean, that would be a logical explanation for this, but like I don't think they're telling the players on their defense and the players on their offense, like Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Sauce and DJ, and you know all those players. I don't think they're telling them like, oh yeah, you're just not going to compete like this year. Like, no, they're not going to take that. Like, they're still going out there and playing their asses off. It's just very, very hard to win when you don't have anything coming out of the quarterback position, like anything at all. So, I mean. So I think what'll end up happening, but like at the same time, like, you know, kind of going back to the whole Joe Namath fire everyone thing. It's like, so if you win, like say the Jets finish this season worse than last year, they win 7 games or less. Say they win like 5 or 6 games. Like, are you giving everyone a mulligan at that point and just saying, fuck it, we lost Aaron Rodgers, everyone come back, everything's fine? Or does someone get... it's a tricky situation because I feel like someone probably should get fired, even with the shitty hand that they were dealt. Like someone probably should get fired, but it's like we kind of have our hands tied with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing because it's like you can't really fire the coach because then a new coach is going to come in. They're going to want their own offensive coordinator, and I don't that would alienate Rodgers.
Yeah, and then the whole like game plan is going to change because it's a whole different coach and then everybody has to learn a new system. I think you just get Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Get Zach Wilson out of the building. He should have been out of the building after last year, but just fix that mess. Clean that mess up.
Just fucking ties with Zach Wilson and everything will look a lot better.
Like just be like, hey, you know, like listen, like if Joe Douglas didn't make that mistake, the 49ers probably would have made that mistake. So just be like, listen, like we made the mistake here. We're moving on.
And they admitted it. They realized, holy shit, this guy sucks. Trade him.
They already admitted it. And the Jets already admitted it when they got Aaron Rodgers too. But I think they were like, oh, look, like we have another chance, and they tried to sell themselves on the pipe dream of Aaron Rodgers fixing Zach Wilson just as much as they were trying to sell the fans on that pipe dream. Yeah,
they tried to believe their own mistakes could be like they could basically just clean up whatever they did wrong. I don't even know what the fuck they were thinking. They want to basically bring Zach Wilson to they wanted to restart him and hopefully like Aaron Rodgers sitting behind him for like maybe a year or two would change it. But
I think even that plan would not have worked out.
I don't think so either. So
like even if Rodgers did stay healthy, like I don't think that Zach would have came in like a couple of years and turned a corner.
They're trying to like force Zach Wilson. and
Like,
it's
in a
not.
lot of cases, either you can play or you can't play. And it's very clear that he just can't play. And I don't think anyone can fix that. I mean, we heard all offseason how, he's getting real coaching now from a real offensive coordinator. Well, everything's still like, it doesn't matter if everything still looks the same.
But see, the thing is, I don't even think he's running the plays that they're calling. He's just going off of like instinct and like whatever's
He
happening
doesn't have any instincts.
whatever's going off in real time, like he's just doing whatever. Like his mind is just scrambled. Like he has no structure to his game.
Yeah, I mean, on the one drive, the one drive where they did score, that was like the only drive where like the offense was like up tempo and they actually like, used
only drive they had that was good.
Yeah, and that was the only play. That was the only drive where they actually like used pre-snap motion and stuff. And like, it's like, okay, why would you get away from that? Like,
And stop
like
using.
I'm not blaming the coaches for Zach Wilson's poor performance, even though it's their fault he's even playing. But like, why would you get away from what worked on that? What worked really well on that one drive?
Because I don't understand it.
It reminded me of the Adam Gase days where, like, the first possession of the game, they would march down the field, kick a field goal, and score a touchdown, and then fuck off for the rest of the game. And all the stuff they were trying to do at the beginning, like with the pre-snap motion and stuff, all that script stuff just goes out the window. And then like they're just, I don't know, they're just like trying to throw shit at a wall and hope it sticks.
It's like almost the same shit. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like, well, Salah at least. He reminds me of Herman Edwards. Like he always tries to justify like why they keep losing, and he always like tries to give you hope like it's gonna get better, and you can clearly see it's not. Like they're just like holding on their last legs, thinking like shit's gonna change when you don't make changes.
Yeah, it's just it's a lunacy. It's true lunacy.
It's like being delusional. Like you don't even see the problem, and the problem's right in front of your face.
Yeah, and the problem to an extent is also you if you're Robert Saleh, because like you have control over the situation. And like, I mean, and I also think maybe people are kind of overblowing the things. Like, people are kind of overblowing Robert Saleh's lies to the media, because that's kind of what coaches do.
Yeah, they always do that.
Coaches lie, or they don't
care about that shit.
Yeah, like people are all upset about like people are all upset about like fucking him like saying that Dwayne Brown would be good to go on Sunday, and then all of a sudden he's on IR for 4 weeks. It's like, I think we're better off without Dwayne Brown, to be honest. I would just shut him down. Maybe just give him his salary and just let him take a walk. Personally, but like,
I think he was hurt.
I can understand why you don't want to give your opponent any intel, and like, I don't know, like I think some fans feel like, I don't know, like the coach is like kind of the spokesperson and has to be honest with the fans. Like the fans think they have a relationship with the coach when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So like the coach doesn't owe it to us to be honest about injuries or whatever. It's definitely frustrating to hear him be so stubborn, and I think he is stubborn to a fault about certain things, including whatever say he does have in the quarterback position, and those decisions. I think that he does have a degree of stubbornness, but yeah, I think that the fans getting mad at him for kind of giving coach speak when it comes to player injuries. I think that stuff is kind of overblown.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's just another, it's truly sickening though. I mean, like we've waited this long for a Sunday night game, and this was supposed to be like an exciting game, like Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes, the State Farm Bowl, wearing the legacy whites, first Sunday night game in however long. And now it's just going to be like Zach Wilson embarrassing himself on national TV for the whole world to see for 3 hours.
Honestly, I don't even know if I want to watch it, but that's the only thing going to be on.
Yeah, I mean, we could all say we're not going to watch it, but
I already knew that Patriots game was going to be bad, and I only watched like the second half. I rewatched the first half, and I was like, "Oh my god, so many mistakes! They could have capitalized on so much shit, at least on defense, and they basically just like it's almost like there was something missing. I don't know, I don't know if the whole Aaron Rodgers is out, that plays into it. Meaning, okay, do we even need to try anymore? I mean, I feel like they're still keeping it in the game. Like the defense has some dogs. Carl Lawson, I don't know about him anymore.
Carl Lawson's washed. They should trade him and get Will McDonald on the field. Was Will McDonald healthy scratched again on
Yeah, he was. He played I seen him in one snap.
Yeah, because what are we doing if we have enough defensive linemen and if we have enough defensive linemen that you can't find a spot for your 15th overall pick in this rotation, then what were you doing in drafting him 15th overall?
Yeah, it doesn't make
sense. I like
sense.
Will McDonald. I think Will McDonald's a good player. And
he's good.
Yeah, I think they should trade Carl Lawson, get him out, and and give those snaps to Will McDonald because I don't think Carl Lawson can play football anymore.
I'm not saying that, but he's just not the player that they expected.
Yeah, he's not the player that he was pre-Achilles. Even pre-Achilles injury, I think he was a little overrated.
He was decent. You know what's crazy? In that time where we actually signed Carl Lawson, Trey Hendrickson was available, and we did not sign him.
Damn, we fucked up there.
Fucking big time fucked up.
Imagine our line if we had Quinnen and Trey Hendrickson.
Oh shit.
Now, Hendrickson was going off last night in the Monday night game. I feel like he had 30 sacks.
Years.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
I knew that fucking kid was good.
Yeah, so they gotta find a way to get Will McDonald on the field more, and they just I don't know. They gotta make a switch. Go to Tim Boyle this week. I guess if he truly is just as bad or worse than Zach Wilson, then then Trevor Siemian should have the playbook learned, probably in time for the Philly game, or if not the Philly game, then we have the bye week and then the Giants game.
Apparently, if you sign a player on Tuesday, they're available to play on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a matter of availability.
Yeah, no. Just
the Jets could play Trevor Siemian in the Sunday night game if they wanted to, but they clearly would rather die with with their second overall pick.
Zach throws
babyface
3 picks in the first half. What are you doing?
Taking him out and putting in Tim Boyle. I think it's pretty simple. I think they should have put in. I think Tim Boyle should have been put in the second half of the Patriots game. Honestly, I was saying in the preseason, I thought Tim Boyle looked better than Zach Wilson. And everyone was like, oh no, Zach's better. He's learned from Aaron Rodgers.
This is just sad.
It is sad. So here's a scenario for you. I have a kind of a doomsday scenario. It's not going to happen because even if the Jets do tank the rest of the season, you know they're going to win some games in December, and they'll probably finish with like 5 or 6 wins. But let's just say hypothetically, the Jets actually successfully tanked for the first time ever, and they get the number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
And you could draft Caleb Williams, but Aaron Rodgers also wants to come back. What do?
I fucking draft Caleb Williams.
Yeah. I mean, history truly does repeat itself as far as Packers quarterbacks coming here and then playing for 1 year or 4 snaps and then drafting a USC quarterback. So that would be very fulfilling. And if you do draft Caleb Williams, fire everybody. If that's the direction you're going in, fire Joe Douglas and fire Robert Saleh, fire the whole staff, clean house, and start over. Because we cannot trust this regime to draft and develop another quarterback. Like Caleb Williams seems to be like a generational prospect, but still, I want different coaches in there at the very least. I mean, Harambe, a dead Harambe could fucking make a Caleb Williams first overall pick. Like, that's not difficult. Like, I'm not saying bring in a different GM for that. I just think you need a new regime.
Okay, who's going to be the GM and head coach?
That's a good question. I don't have those answers yet. Like I didn't look into it that much. I think it's like a cross that bridge when you get there type of thing. But I think that if you are, if you're going in a different direction with the quarterback, like if you decide you're going to start over and draft Caleb Williams, I just know that I wouldn't want anyone in this regime involved. I think at that point you have to turn the page and just move on and just have a 3-headed regime with an all-new regime of, Caleb Williams. Whoever the head coach is, I'd want them to be, at the very least, an offensive mind. Preferably, right. Would be someone who has experience coaching before. Lincoln Riley would be a good one. Is he USC's coach now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that would make sense. Can Lincoln Riley? I mean, has Lincoln Riley ever coached in the NFL? Has they ever? No. Yeah, I mean,
but he's coached multiple like NFL quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah, he seems to pump them out, and that continuity could be good for Caleb Williams going into the NFL. So, you could bring in a Lincoln Riley. As far as the GM goes, I don't really know who you bring in, but you try and bring in someone who's going to have a similar vision of how to win football games as the head coach has. So probably
I would say a formidable team like the Niners, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, somewhere from there.
Yeah. Or like a younger guy who's maybe an offensive mind, analytics nerd type of thing.
VP of player personnel, someone like that, like a Howie Roseman or some shit.
Yeah, there's got to be someone. There's got to be someone out there.
Like worst comes to worst, but I mean Joe Douglas was also under Howie Roseman, so I don't know what the fuck to think about that.
He was. I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, my overall opinion on Joe Douglas is that he is. I think he's an average GM. I think he's made some. Yeah. I think he's made some good.
I want to say above average, just because of the hits he's made. with like getting, because it seems like he is more he likes getting draft picks more than actual like free agent signings.
Yeah, he hasn't really. I mean, aside from trading for Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't really, and like DJ Reed was a good signing, but aside from that, he hasn't really he hasn't really made too many moves as far as free agents. I mean, he struck out on a lot of free agents, and I mean, I know that granted, he tried to pay the Jets tax and all the things that he had to do in that position when before players would even like answer a phone call from the New York Jets. But still, I mean, the track record in the free agency is underwhelming. So, I mean, overall, I think he's like pretty average, and I think he's done some good things. He's definitely better than any GM we've had since Mike Tannenbaum. You know, I'll give him that. So take that for what it's worth. You have any so I mean, in that situation, I would agree that you take Caleb Williams. I think the more likely scenario is that, you know, they'll probably, you know, they're going to lose to Kansas City. They might beat Denver the week after, and then they're going to lose to Philly. They'll be 2-4. Then you got the Giants, you know, and you got whoever else comes after that. And that, you know, at that point, you know, it'll probably be, you know, the season will probably fall out of reach sooner rather than later. Like, you know, by mid-November, you know, there's probably going to be, you know, by mid-November, they'll probably have a losing record and there'll probably be very little hope for anything. And then just when you're starting to embrace the tank, that's when they're going to win some games in December against shitty teams like the Falcons and the Texans. They'll probably finish with like the 6th overall pick, and then they'll go and draft Mekhi Becton 2.0.
It's Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles, Giants, Chargers, Raiders.
Yeah, that sounds like. I mean, Chiefs and Eagles are definite losses. I would say
we've never beaten the Eagles ever.
We've never beaten the Eagles. I would say the Giants are a winnable game right now. If I was like the odds maker, though, I'd probably set the Giants as favorites.
Yeah, probably.
Game. Like they'll probably be favored by like 1 or 2 points. But that's a game the Jets could win. And then it's Chargers. Chargers are going to wax us. That's a loss. And Raiders. We'll see. They'll probably be slight favorites. I mean, the Raiders will probably win just because of like they have like a actual winning quarterback in Jimmy G. So that'll probably end up being the difference in that game. So yeah, I mean, you could be looking at being like 3-8 or something.
They just put him in concussion protocol, but by then he'll probably be good.
Probably. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think they'll end up. Yeah, I think they'll probably end up just. I think they'll end up missing the whole Caleb Williams train, and they'll probably come back and try and they'll probably draft the left tackle, and hopefully next offseason they have like a real plan in place, like a real plan to maximize the cap space that was freed up by Aaron Rodgers, and they could really bring that vision to life, and hopefully they can get hopefully they learn from this mistake and they bring in an actual backup quarterback too, just in case anything happens again. And hopefully they're able to, make the most of the opportunity that they'll have next year. Because I mean, this has to be if this season spirals out of control and everyone keeps their job, it's got to be like the biggest mulligan in NFL history. If Woody's just gonna pretend that this year never happened.
Yeah.
But I am kind of sick of talking about Zach Wilson and the Jets, and I have to go to the movies kind of soon. So let's do picks and wrap up the show. I just need to grab my computer charger. So we will be back after a quick commercial break. All right, picks time. Week 4 in the NFL season. We're already a quarter of the way through this bitch.
Man.
We can start with the Thursday night game. We have the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 1.5 point favorites on the road in this game. I am going to This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
I'm taking the Lions too. The Lions have dogs on their team, and they won in Green Bay in the elements last year. And Aaron Rodgers in the last game, Aaron Rodgers completed a pass in. So I think they can go in. I think they can go in and win this game too. I think Jordan Love will make things tough and make things interesting, but I think the Lions will win a close one. Let's do the London game at 9:30 in the morning. This is the Toy Story game. I think they're calling it. What are they doing? They're doing like some Toy Story alternate broadcast, but it's the
Falcons Jags.
Yeah, Falcons Jags. I am taking the Falcons, and I'm going to provide no further explanation.
I mean, the Falcons seem like they've been doing great, and Desmond Ridder. Well, Trevor Lawrence played bad that last game. I think that was like their trap game.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of a trap game. Well, you can't have your division opponent game be a trap game.
Yeah.
I think the Texans just kind of beat them.
Yeah, CJ Stroud just caught like lightning in a bottle, and I feel like he just went on.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely may have been some of that.
I do like the Falcons, though.
Yeah, I like the Falcons as well.
Their roster, it really isn't that bad. Like they have players. They have Jesse Bates. Still, they have.
Who I wanted, Jesse Bates.
I did. Yeah, we both did. Their team isn't bad at all. Like their O-line is really good. I mean, Kyle Pitts, for what it's worth. Drake London is good. Bijan Robinson tearing it up.
Yeah,
I
Bijan
like
is.
the team overall. I mean, it seems like it's an at Jags game just because of their owner. And
Right. Yeah, it's a Jags home game for sure. But yeah, so we're both picking the Falcons there. Let's do Miami Dolphins at Buffalo Bills.
oh,
I'm picking the Dolphins. I know they're underdogs and this game's in Buffalo, but
weird.
I think that I think the Dolphins are. I hate to say it, but I think the Dolphins are legit, and they might be. They might be like the powerhouse of the AFC.
I want the Bills to win this game, so I'm taking the Bills. I think the Dolphins. This happened last year. They went 3-0, and everyone thought they were the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, and
then shit just
they
crashing.
did beat the Bills early in the season though, and then things started to crash and burn. And then Tua got hurt.
Right, and I'm waiting for that to happen, and I think it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be this game. I feel it in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins have at least. I think the Dolphins have at least one more week before that happens. I think they beat the Bills. Maybe they beat the Bills, and it's a game where something fucky happens with Tua, and things get fucked up going forward because that's kind of what happened last year. But I'm picking the Dolphins to beat the Bills for sure. Let's see the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Browns are 2.5-point favorites at home. I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think the Ravens. The Ravens are a hard team to get a grip on.
Yeah, the Ravens. This looks like to me. I don't know if they even. They don't look like they've created any stability. I feel like they've won, but they haven't really won and like showed what kind of team they are yet.
Right.
They're still like up in the air, and I feel like their chemistry hasn't even it hasn't come into fruition at all.
Yeah, not yet. And I guess they're still learning a new offense with Todd Monken. So they're kind of having some trouble with that. So are you picking the Browns as well?
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns.
All right. Let's do Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. This is a game that probably before you probably didn't think it would be a game worth talking about before the season started, but both teams are 2-1. Both teams I would say the Bucks definitely got exposed as frauds against the Eagles. The Saints kind of just blew a big lead, but I think the Saints bounce back at home against the Bucks.
Yeah, I think the same too. I like the Saints defense over the Bucks, even though the Bucks defense is really good. And it's at Saints. I think they want to get that Derek Carr. I feel like he's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Even though Baker Mayfield, like Mike Evans, still looks good. Everybody's saying he's washed. He still looks good, but I feel like the weapons on the Saints.
Who's saying he looks washed? Because those people do not know a thing about football.
Yeah, because they're not watching shit. That's why. But overall, I feel like Michael Thomas compared to like Mike Evans, I like Mike Evans better. I like their offense better than the Saints, even though the Saints have a good defense. But I think Saints defense hold it down. So I'm taking the Saints because I like Chris Olave a lot. I like their run game better. And overall, I think they hold it down. It's gonna be close because
look who decided to join the podcast just as we're ending the podcast.
Hey, I figured you guys were done. literally just left work.
Yeah, you just left work 2 hours later.
Yes. Look, man, I had shit to do.
Yeah, you sound like you would have gotten fired if this was a job.
Look, man, I had work to do. My bad. My bad.
All I heard was
The man
Oh, yeah,
the man
no.
had work to do.
Yeah. And
He's
connections usually
too
shitty on
important.
the way home. Too important. I didn't say that.
The most important man on the podcast. Yeah, we're
Well,
holding open tryouts for someone to join our practice squad to pick up some of your
for
dead weight here.
quarterbacks?
no.
For
For me. Oh man, that's hurtful. That's hurtful.
You control the narratives here. But anyway, moving along with the picks, we just picked a bunch of games. I'm going to include. We did talk a little bit about quarterbacks and how we signed Trevor Siemian, and how there were better options available, and it seems like they're just dicking around to keep Zach Wilson around.
I don't think there's any better option other than Simeon. We could have got Ripien, but
we could have got. I think Carson Wentz would have been better, but I'm not about to get into an argument about Carson Wentz and Trevor Siemian. I have better things to do with my time. I'm including this game in the picks just for shits and giggles. Let's do the Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears.
Oh,
in the toilet bowl of the week.
Yeah, I hope this ends in a tie.
I hope it ends in a tie too. Definitely take the under. I'm going to take the Bears to win at home.
Suck.
Actually, I'll take the. Actually, I'll take the. I'll take the Broncos to win just because I don't want the Broncos to be winless and desperate to win to beat us next week. So
well, they're both winless.
Yeah, but we don't play the Bears after the Chiefs. We play the Broncos.
Oh, okay.
So
the Broncos should win. Justin Fields looks like a bum.
Yeah, Justin Fields sucks. He's the worst quarterback in the league, not named Zach Wilson.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's sad because I thought he'd have a decent season.
So yeah, I'm taking the Broncos. The over/under is 46.5, which I think is way too high. I would hammer that under.
Yeah,
definitely under.
Like JJ.
Do they think that they're gonna actually be scoring either of these offenses? Wow, that's ridiculous.
No.
I'm definitely taking the under for that.
Yeah. Who you guys think wins? You guys taking the Broncos as well, or?
I'm taking
the Bears.
Oh, I'm not even putting Justin's picks on here.
I can't do it. Can't take the Bears.
All right, let's do. I wasn't gonna do this game, but I guess since the Cowboys lost last week, maybe this game will be interesting. New England Patriots and Dallas Cowboys. I'm picking the Cowboys to win. The spread is 7. I think the Cowboys will cover that pretty easily, and I think they'll make a statement that that last week was a fluky game. So yeah, taking.
I don't know if it's fluky. Maybe Belichick does some work and stops the Cowboys, man. I wouldn't be surprised. They couldn't score against the Cardinals defense. That's terrible.
So you picking the Patriots?
I'm picking just to jinx them.
All right, I respect it.
No, yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys. I'll never pick the Patriots for anything.
That's just a jinx 'em.
All right, let's do the Monday night game, and then we'll wrap it up with the Jets game on Sunday night. So the Monday night game, we have the other New York team, the New York Giants, hosting the Seattle Seahawks. The Giants are 1.5-point favorites at home.
The Giants are favorites?
Yes.
That's wild. That's
I
stupid.
am going to take. I agree that is stupid. I think it's just because they're the home team. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
That makes no. I think it's based off of Gino's career at MetLife.
I mean that would make some sense. that might have something to do with it. I think it's a Geno Smith MetLife revenge tour. Geno picked the part last year. Granted, that was in Seattle, but I think Geno's on a revenge tour against the New York teams. I think Seattle wins this game big.
Oh, definitely. The Giants are garbage.
Yeah, they stink. They might be worse than us. Let's hope.
Which is sad because we're literally just a quarterback away from the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's fucking pathetic.
We said that last year.
Yeah, 100%. Should have kept Mike White.
Mike White got paid too much money. He's not as good as people like to pretend he is.
Oh no, not good. Just better than Zach.
Yeah. I mean, he's miles better than Zach, but at this point, who isn't?
Yeah, exactly. That's why, man, Jacoby Brissett. That's what we should be trying to get. Get Jacoby. It ain't gonna happen, but I wish.
Yeah. So Mo, are you gonna complete the sweep and pick the Seahawks? All right. And finally, we have Sunday Night Football, the first Sunday night game for the New York Jets in 11 years. The Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Jets. Chiefs are 9.5-point road favorites. I think the Chiefs win. I think they win big. I think they cover pretty easily. I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs 27, Jets only 27. I think our defense will somewhat keep the game. I think the Jets will somewhat keep the Chiefs in check a little bit. It's still early, so like the Chiefs are still not firing on all cylinders just yet. I think we lose 27-9.
Okay. All right. I think we lose. They're definitely going to go over. I think they're going to go over 30. Our defense is going to be way too tired by the second half because they're going to be out there 90% of the time. So that's when Mahomes is going to pick them apart and just fucking run the points out. So I'm going to give them 38. 38 to a measly 3.
38-3.
All right. Well, I'm picking the Jets.
Oh,
you're kidding.
Mo.
No, I'm not kidding. And I'm gonna say 24-21.
Oh,
you
think our defense is gonna keep us in the game?
I've been right on all the Jets picks so far, and I could see it bounce back. And Mahomes having a problem with the Jets defense because I think they're gonna turn up real good.
Oh, I
hope you're right.
How
are we going to score?
So far?
Travis Kelce's going to get too obligated with Taylor Swift, and it's going to help us a lot.
Bro, help us, Taylor Swift. You're our only hope.
I hope she's at the game.
Funny.
If she will be there, I'm almost
funny.
positive she'll be there. If the Jets win this game, I'll become a Swiftie. You have it on record.
Ooh, I'm not making that bet. I'm not making that bet.
I'm already a Swiftie.
Mo's already a Swiftie. I am so not worried about the Jets winning this game that I'm pretty confident I'm going to not be a Swiftie. in about 5 days from now. So with that information, what you will. But getting back to Mo's pick. All right, so the Jets defense, I could definitely see that. I could see the Jets defense giving the Chiefs some trouble. Maybe Travis Kelce has been piping out Taylor too much, and maybe that distracts him from playing a good game. How did the Jets score 24 points though?
McCall Hardman.
24 points.
They'll actually
Is
use
this going to
McCall
be?
Hardman.
Is this going to be the McCall Hardman breakout revenge game?
Revenge game?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Are we actually gonna put him on the field this game?
Yeah. That they've been talking about it the whole time. Why didn't they use him? And I think he's going to
They
score.
always have some bullshit excuse.
But you realize you need a quarterback to get him the ball.
That's not a problem. Zach can sling it.
He can
On
sling
that
it.
note,
It's just not accurate.
Oh, Tim Boyle can sling it.
well, on that note, I think it is
bring in
time
Boyle.
to
If
end the
Boyle
show.
plays, I'm down for a Jets win.
Yeah, I would like to see. I was saying before, I'd like to see Tim Boyle play this game. I think you kind of have to put Tim Boyle in, but they're not going to.
You do. Yeah, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is playing. Zach is going to get sacked like 3 times, but
oh yeah, minimum 3 times. He'll probably get sacked by
Yeah.
Chris Jones 2 times and sacked by the air another 3 times.
hey, look,
Can
I'm
you see
3-0
the
on Jets picks. So,
All right. Well, let's hope for all of our sake. Let's
when he
hope
just
that
went
that
down-
Mo goes 4-0. Oh, are you talking about
Highly unlikely.
when Zach got sacked by the air?
Yeah. The motherfucker just went down. For no
Oh
reason.
yeah,
No
we
reason.
discussed that. Yeah, he got sacked by the ghosts that Sam Darnold was seeing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
He's gonna be seeing ghosts again next Sunday.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we discussed that. We discussed, we discussed how unserious of a move it was to bring in Trevor Siemian. We discussed it all. So I think.
Look, I think we start Simeon week 5.
You think he starts for the Broncos game?
Yes, 100%.
I'll believe it when I see it.
No, there's no reason to keep Zach in. None. Zero.
There is no reason to keep Zach in, but still, I'll believe it when I see it because it seems like.
I'm still down to see what Zach can do after a season of Aaron playing. If Aaron can come back next season and be a good quarterback and Zach can learn, I'm still down to see what Zach can
I'm
do
done
after.
with Zach. Get him off the team. Honestly, he just needs to get out of there.
He's so immature. He's very immature. He's like a child playing against men. That's his biggest issue. If he can overcome that, I think he can be a decent quarterback. But I don't know if he'll ever overcome that.
I don't know if he ever will either, and I don't know if it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen with the Jets if it ever does happen. So I think they just. I think for the sake of the organization and for everyone, they just need to get him out of there. I think it'll just be. I think that's just like the best move for all parties involved.
We should have traded for Trey Lance.
It wouldn't have been the worst idea.
Yeah. It's better than
Then,
Zach.
at least we could see, at least we could be the ones seeing what he is now. But here we are. We got Trevor Siemian and another week of Zach Wilson. So hopefully Mo is right with his pick. But I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast now because I have to go to the movie theaters. Not now.
Yeah, what are you saying?
The Nun 2.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll give you guys. Remind me to give you a review on the podcast next week of the movie.
That's that horror movie, right? That's
Give me a review.
that's the first
Yeah.
one. Okay. I
yeah,
don't watch
I didn't
ours.
even see the Nun.
I don't
one.
watch them.
I
I
saw the
don't watch
Nun
ours.
first one. It was good.
All right,
Was it?
well, hopefully the Nun
Orphan
2
was good.
as well. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here this week. All gas, no break out. Peace.
Deuces.
Oops.